George, really. And we all thought it was great too, because it was the first one in the family to take on that trait. That gene had to come through, finally, with one of our kids. But not only that, Mitchell was a chubby. He was the only one that I can remember of any of the families who was a real chubby. We used to call him our podgy pup. Mitchell was very chubby.
Thanks, Dad.
The time can change, as you can see. Yeah, the unusual thing about Mitchell, though, is that he's got this reddish coloured hair. Mitchell denies it's red. He denies it is. It's reddish. It's very auburn hair. So if you look closely, Mitchell has dyed his hair black, but Mitchell has got very dark eyebrows, almost black eyebrows, and brown eyes and red hair. It's a strange combination. Which is very unusual. He's very unusual in that sense. Mitchell was a very happy-go-lucky, good-natured boy when he was young. Always laughing and easy to get on with, and that's the way he always was. He didn't stay a chubby little pup for long. He very quickly grew into a typical Rumney old Harry, and that is a little skinny bugger. Most of their families are like that. And he became the Mitchell that we knew for many, many years. Schooling. Mitchell went to school a little bit later than most kids would, because we held him on a bit. I'm not quite sure why.
No, I just went to school twice.
Birthday.
I did new entrance twice in a row. I did it in Raglan, then we moved to...
Oh, you moved over.
Here, and I did it here.
Sorry,
That's
Mitchell.
why I'm so intelligent.
I got that. I missed out the other end though, but new entrance twice. The ABC's twice. I got that right, sorry. Mitchell was always regarded as a good-natured, cooperative kid, and most of his school reports read something like that. A cooperative, good-natured boy with great ability, and then there was a word at the end, but. Always the but word. And that went right through his schooling to the time he finished in 7th form. There's always a but word at the end, you know. Could do very well, but. Very, very, very high ability, but. However, Mitchell's a free-thinking fella. He always has been. Now, brothers. Mitchell was underneath the pressure of having two older brothers who were bigger than him, even though Mitchell's now taller than him now, but they were always bigger than him. And then Mitchell wasn't a big boy. He was actually quite slim, quite small, really. A bit like the others were when they were young too, but they were, 4 or 5 years older than Mitchell. And they could give him, like most brothers, give him a hell of a hard time. And they did. And Scott in particular took a liking to taking on Mitchell. And I call it baiting. He'd bait Mitchell, hook, line and sinker. Like no one else could. Mitchell would take the bait, and Scott tried this one because Ben would never take the bait. Ben would always go off and do his own thing and wouldn't take no notice of Scott whatsoever. So Scott had to find somebody to give a hard time to, and it was Mitchell. So Mitchell became the grunt of a lot of the stuff from Ben. And you probably all know that Mitchell would be wound up like a spring, can be wound up, and then roar. And it became this outburst, expletive, deleted, and all this stuff. And the whole house would almost reverberate with Mitchell going off on his own. All because his brothers would tease him, so much so that Mitchell couldn't stand any longer, and I don't know why this house wasn't smashed up a bit more than it is. And that's brothers do it to each other. I think girls do too, sisters do too, but they always pick on the little one. Mitchell was the little one. And Gemma was the girl.
See Gemma get any shit.
She didn't take the bait, Mitchell.
Anyway, I've got little notes here so I don't miss anything out. Mitchell had a great sense of justice. All through his life he's had a sense of justice, international justice. It's something that's been in his head, and it's quite unusual really for a young boy to see wrongs in the world, wrongs going on around himself, and point the finger at those things. So that's something that Mitchell's always had, which is quite interesting really. Not many people have that, especially at a young age. But boy, is he stubborn. So that was the key thing. He's stubborn like when he wants to be. And you all know this, your family know this of course. When Mitchell wants to be, he sticks his ground and he won't move. He's intransigent. It's amazing for a young boy to be like that.
That's a good word,
and
Mitchell.
intransigent. I can give you an example of how it comes about. Mitchell used to help me quite a bit at my brother's farm. I'd call him into there to do tasks in there, and some pocket money for Mitchell. I'd take him along one day. I took him there to do some stump grinding. Now, if anyone's ever used a stump grinder, it's a bit like the job Scott had, the first job he had, which was to use a sandblaster. And Scott vows and declares he'll never ever look at one again, even if I use one. Well, Mitchell was the same. He hated this thing. It had a handlebar like a lawnmower, and then had another bar which you pulled into the handlebar to engage the gears to make the wheel go around with the teeth to grind up the stumps. Very simple. Now, a few years after this, I bought a lawnmower, and it was a self-propelled lawnmower, which suits me well because you pull the bar. It's got a handlebar like a lawnmower. It's got another bar below it which you push in and hold it to engage the gear. Funny that. And you walk behind the mower, and the mower drives itself. Fantastic for mowing lawns. It's so much easier for me because I'm not that able. It's great for me. Anyway, I gave Mitchell a go. I said, Mitchell, what you do, Mitchell, is you get this bar here and you push it into that one, hold it like that, and you walk behind it. Great. And then I sent him off on his way. First time he'd done the lawns of this new lawnmower. He looked pretty good. And then I went inside, had a cup of tea, came out, had a look outside, and there was Mitchell. He was pushing the bloody thing along. I came to him and said, Mitchell, you don't push it. You walk behind it. Just push the bar like that, hold it, and the machine will pull you along. It's not a push mower. It's a walk behind mower. Get it right, Mitchell. Okay, Daddy said. And then I went back inside and had a look out the window, and there's Mitchell still pushing the thing. And to this day, he still refuses to grab that bar and push it down because it reminds him of that stump grinder. He still won't do it, even today. He still won't do it.
No, it's good exercise. That's the reason.
It is to lose weight.
When he wants to be stubborn. Now, sports. Mitchell was, of course, in a family of sports-minded kids. Scott and Ben have both done pretty well at various sports, especially rugby. Mitchell, I went to his first game. I remember it very well. Mitchell went to his first game against Noah, and that was
rugby.
The rugby. Very first game, Franklin against the Noah team. And Mitchell would pass the ball for the first time, and I was so excited. You hear, well, go Mitchell, you know, because I'd watched his brothers play a lot, and I was quite enthused about it. Mitchell got this ball, he tucked it under his arm, and there was a boy facing him, and Mitchell didn't even think about the boy. He just went through with his shoulder and boof! He just blew this boy up in the air. And he landed about 10 metres away. I thought, we got a young, small children longer than this here. I was amazed. And Mitchell, you've never forgotten that game, have you?
Yeah, I played like that all the time, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a one-off.
Mitchell was not a junior drummer. He was not. But